It's early in the morning, grab a cup and tune on in. Robert and Dave got that southern charm, let the laughter begin. From the morning funny to MAGA minute, ain't no better way to start your day the southern way, with a little joke and pray. We're just southern folks talking southern things, front porch swinging where the church bells rang. From mama said to hum day news, we keep it real with down home views. Sunday morning in the Word, get that gospel flow. Prayer time calls, so let's let our troubles go. Come Monday night, mama said, is bringing the truth. And when it's night talk with Dave, man, you know it's getting loose. We're just southern folks talking southern things, stories and sports where the good times hang. From SFP news to I remember that, we tell it like it is, and that's a fact. Got our veteran of the week, gotta show our pride. Pets of the week, bringing love worldwide. Talking paranormal, digging true crime. Southern fried stories all the dang time. So pull up a chair, y'all, and stay a while. Ain't nothing like that southern style. From the morning show to the soundstage band, it's SFP Live, won't you give them a hand? So pull up a chair, y'all, and stay a while. Ain't nothing like that southern style. From the morning show to the soundstage band, it's SFP Live, won't you give them a hand?
Good morning, Southern Pride Podcast fans and all of our breadheads out there in Cornbread Nation. Good morning. So, Hump Day morning is here already. How's Dave doing this morning?
Excellent. Was hard to sleep last night with all the storms and wind, rain, lightning, you name it. Sounded like it was going to carry us off, but doing good. How about you? How do you do? As Johnny Cash said.
I do well, but my name's not Sue. How do you do? My name is Sue. Now you're gonna die.
Yeah. Well, it's the morning after the Democrats showed their childish, petulant, un-American side. And I was ranting on it last night. I'll continue to rant on it this morning. You stayed in your seats while the president's walking in. Horrible decorum there for you. You held up your little signs. You catcalled. Senator Green from Texas, you can take your stick, and I'm just going to leave that right there because you were escorted out.
I can stand on that if you like.
That's up to you, brother.
You can take your stick and stick it.
I don't care who you are. You don't shake your stick at the president of the United States and scream at him while he's trying to talk. You probably planned that all along to get thrown out. It's not a good look. So yeah, and then you continued to sit there on your hands for the whole speech. You couldn't celebrate anything that Americans are happy about. Not anything, including a 12-year-old boy. If you saw that and you could not, and if you're a Democrat, I say you're less than human that you couldn't celebrate a 12-year-old boy. That was an awesome scene. It brought tears to my eyes. I
Yeah,
don't care. Politics does not matter when you're talking about kids. Come on, man. Come
yeah.
on. Yeah, yeah. There were people there that lost their children, Lake and Riley's family, another lady whose daughter was brutally murdered. Yeah, they're mad because of the politics of it and immigration and all that, but come on, these people lost their children. You at least got to put politics aside to celebrate, not celebrate, but to honor someone's family who died. And then the young man who got accepted into West Point, you found out on the moment. How do you not celebrate that? Come on.
I can tell
Oh,
you how. I can tell you how.
ah,
I'm gonna put it out there. If you're not a Democrat in their mind, then you're not an American. You don't
ah.
consult them because they're Democrat. They have gotten so far twisted. This country is so divided on Democrats and Republicans. We can't celebrate anything positive if it comes from the other side. We
I
can't.
know.
It's
I know,
sad.
man. It was super sad. It's sick. And you got to, I mean, come on, constituents. I mean, really, if that's the way you are as an American, shame on you too, that you can't celebrate that. I don't care if it was President Obama, President Clinton, President Biden, whoever it was. When somebody was in the gallery, I don't care for what political reason they had them there. If they lost a loved one due to violence or something that went
Yeah.
on, or they had a great success, how do you not celebrate that? That's Americans. Come on, especially a kid. That kid was cute as a button, man. And when he hugged that gentleman, I guess from the Secret Service, who gave him his card, and he just jumped out and hugged his neck because kids don't have hate in their heart unless you teach it
No.
to them. And he hugged that man's neck. That's America right there. That is America. An African American young man and this white gentleman and them embracing. That should be the image that's on every front page across the country today. But it won't be, but it should be.
You're right. And look, we're trying to divide America here. What's going on here? That might pull America together. We can't have that. Oh my gosh. And let me tell you something else, all you Democrats out there. President Trump is doing what he said he was going to do. The reasons why he was elected. The American people want these changes. And you're standing against the American people. Okay, they voted. Let them do what they said he was going to do. I know it might cost you a nickel somewhere down the road. Oh my gosh. And I know that's where the root of all this comes from. That's why you're holding up all them signs that says Elon's a thief and all this other stuff. He's not stealing. He might be taking money away from you because you've been
He emptied out some bank accounts.
Yeah, he might be emptying some bank accounts, but he's not stealing. I think the ones that have been stealing are the ones that are complaining about it. Because if you really want to know what Democrats are doing, watch what they're accusing everybody else of. And I'll put it out there. I've seen it. We've all seen it happen. Russia. They were the ones dealing with Ukraine behind everybody's back and dealing with Russia and everything. Russia. Sick of that junk.
I really believe, and I want to just say, and I said it last night, we come on late to do a wrap up, and we're going to continue. There's so much to unpack out of this speech. It's a great speech. It had some funny moments. It had some sharp tongue kind of things, as the president was really frustrated with the Dems that they wouldn't stand for anything or celebrate anything. But there were a few. To be fair, there were a small handful in the very back of the room who, or if they sat, there was a couple of them that did like this, a little golf clap, but that was it. But this gentleman, the senator from Texas, Al Green, he must be censured. First of all, the Speaker of the House tried his best not to have to swing that gavel. You could see him struggling with that. He didn't want to interrupt the president. But at a certain point, when he's out there screaming and hollering while the president's talking, I mean, several times he put his mic back, he brought it back up. He had to gavel the dude. He had to read the order that, you can't do that. He had to read the official proclamation. I think he read that twice. And then when this gentleman continued to show his rear end, he said, he asked for him to sit down twice or that he would be removed. But then he's up there shaking that stick at the president, screaming at him. That's when they called for the sergeant at arms to remove him. And as I said, you know what? If you don't like it, just walk out. Just walk out.
Yeah. You don't have to
You
stay there.
can't do the president that way.
No.
I mean, who's going to put up with that? Would the Democrats put up with that if a Republican stood up with a stick? I realize, I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of the hollering out that happened to Biden a couple of times, and some people thought that was funny, and they called him a liar and all that. Okay, whether you like that or not, they didn't shake a stick. The dude. I mean, come on. I just, it's appalling, and
We can
it's
almost
just
use it
ridiculous.
as a threat. You know,
It could be.
that
It
would
could be.
funny if the Secret Service had considered that a threat. You see him get tackled out there in this group.
Well, I think all the world was watching. Was this guy going to resist? I mean, he's an older guy. I mean, they would have picked him up. Can you imagine the scene of that and how embarrassing that would be for America across the world to have this guy drug out? Good morning, Miss Elizabeth. You just don't do that. You just don't do that. And he must be censured. I'm not saying there's people calling for him to be kicked out of Congress. I don't think you go that far, but he's got to be censured. He has to get in trouble for this, because if you don't, it's going to happen more and more and more. I was afraid at that point it was really going to go into just chaos, but it did calm down, at least from that standpoint. But you, sir, you and really all of the Democrats, because of the little boy, I call them, they're jackwagons, man. They are jackwagons of the week already for Cornbread Nation. I mean, come on. How do you not celebrate that little boy and you don't get up and shake a stick at the president? As you said, stick it.
You thought I was going to say something a lot worse than that, didn't you?
Well, you restrained yourself.
No, that was the perfect wording. Take your stick and stick it. Yeah, there's so much.
He was hollering about Medicaid, I believe, but they were trying to make points with their side, and he's a liar and Elon stole and all this stuff. Oh, they had some different colored clothing on, but they had talked about even worse stuff, and I think Democratic leadership pretty much told them not to do that. That it would be a bad look before America, and it would be. It would be.
Well, all right, like I said once before already this morning, let's just go ahead, if you're a Democrat, and stand against what the majority of the American people voted for. Trump is doing the things he said he was gonna do. That's why he was elected, and y'all are standing against that. Hey, constituents out there, y'all see this? You see this? You know what you voted for, and you see what these knuckleheads are doing. Everything they can to keep their little bit of power. It's all about power and money. Trump's taking away their power, or you taking away their power. You're the constituents. They've lost some of their power. They don't like that. Now Elon's taking their money. Oh, now he's a thief. It's not because he's stealing from the American people. He's taking away all this money they've been rat holing, given to goofy, just idiotic, stupid stuff.
He was there. He was in the gallery. They booed him too. They don't like Elon. I want to know who the senator is. I think, if I remember, she had either blue or purple hair, and she looks like she's about 150 years old. I'm sorry, but there's an image of her that's been screenshotted today online. I don't know where she's from, but my goodness, they might need to make sure she's not one of those that's getting a Social Security check for 135 or 40 years old. My gosh. You talk about looking bad. Wow. I don't like to say that, but wow. And come on, you know what? I get it, America. You people color their hair and all that. But in that hall, usually you have, that's like being a professional. There's certain things you can't do. If you went to get a job as a professional, they're not going to let you have tattoos all over your face, for instance. You may have some, but they're not going to let you put a swastika or something on your cheek and represent a company. Nobody's going to hire you. Why would you send somebody to Congress that looks like that? I mean, with this, you just got to see it, Rob.
No, you can't just pick on her. What about Bernie Sanders? Okay.
Yeah, he looked like death warmed over last night too.
But in reality, Fetterman doesn't put on a suit. He wears his sweats and whatever, which that's Fetterman. Fetterman's going to be Fetterman. And I don't have really and truly out of all the Democrats, Fetterman's probably my favorite.
I missed him last night. I don't know if he was there. I guess he was. If they showed him, I missed it, so I don't know how he looked. So I don't know on that, but it was a pretty amazing speech. The president did get a couple of digs at him before they happened. The best one, he basically, he called them all out on some of the stuff. Basically called them all, that they supported human trafficking and all that because of, their stance on stuff. But the moment of the night for him, the zinger of the night, and she took it in stride and gave him that look and clapped and shook her head, was Pocahontas. He called her Pocahontas. That probably shouldn't have happened, but he had enough. I don't think that was in the cliff notes, but he did look and say, even Pocahontas would be for the something. And they put the camera right on her, and she's on there. Yeah. So, but by then he had enough. Let's see. The gentleman who died at Butler was there. The guy that just got released from Russian prison was there with his mom, 96 years old. That was a special moment as well. I know that guy's name that died at Butler. That when they tried to kill the president, his family was there. It's very moving. Of course, Lake and Riley's family, another young girl, and he announced that night that he named a refuge, a wildlife refuge, after her because she had a love of animals, and that was a special moment. There were several like that. That's what, like I said, that's what makes America great. And if you can't, as an American, have a empathy in your heart for those parents who lost their child, there's just something wrong with you. I'll say it. There's something wrong with you.
And you're absolutely right. And I'm going to tell you something. These Democrats are all complaining and griping and bitching and just carrying on with all this nonsense. They've not offered not one alternative. Not one. No. They want it to keep going just like it's going. They think everything's just fine. All right, we need to be spending billions of dollars to study transgender rats. We need to have billions of dollars going to a drag show in Albuquerque or something. I don't know. It's just ridiculous.
He will probably catch a little flack from the African Union today because he named some millions that were being sent to some small African nation. He said, I've never even heard of that place. That was probably not. I understand this.
All right, the Dems will take that his mind's slipping, and he sees.
Yeah, they will. They will. Nobody's ever heard of that place.
Our great ally. Everybody be like, who? He's not going to be the only one.
Oh, and we must have a warm place in our heart, Rob. We really must. Because the little deputy, Zelensky, he is now thanking America over and over and over again. Every time he gives a little speech, he says, thank you through all America. Thank you, America, for all the money. Weapons that you sent us. Thank you for your support. He says thank you over and over again. And now, during the speech, the president even said, I just got a letter from him. He's ready to sign the mineral deal at the earliest possible convenience for President Trump. He wants to get it done. Oh, Zelensky, he finally sees the light.
He busy, good morning, Jennifer. He got back to the Ukraine. And he has this, I'm quite sure there's this great big guy there. Huge. Lurch looking. And his only job is to really run the country. And Zelensky's the front man. And I can just see. What were you thinking? It's Zelensky's on the floor. No, Daddy, don't hit me again. Go hit me again, Dad. I just see it.
That's where your daddy finds out what you did, and he
Yeah.
wears your tail out, and he sends you back down the street to apologize. You got into it with a neighbor kid, and your daddy says, "You did what?" Wears you out, sends you back down there, and says, "You better go apologize."
Oh, Lord have mercy. That's it. That's it.
Oh,
It may have been that woman that was sitting there, the one ambassador that had her hand in her face,
oh yeah.
facing her hand, shaking her head. It could have been her that did it.
Well,
He could have got a
it's
mama whooping.
it's kind of like the husband who's messed up, and the wife doesn't say anything publicly, but when they get the car or by the time they get home, it's like,
His ears bleeding.
"Man, what was you thinking? You screwed up. You got to fix this. Oh, you big dummy."
Who got a whooping? A whooping. That's a mom whooping. A whooping. Oh, them's the worst. You get a whooping, you've done it. My goodness. A whooping.
Oh, so he was very easy in his remarks. He just said he wanted to see the killing stopped on both sides. I'm pretty sure that some of that was because they do have a deal they're fixing to sign. And he says that Russia is giving signals they're ready for peace. So he didn't want to mess with that. So no mention about that. No mention of J6ers that I caught. There was a couple of times I got distracted, but I don't think so. But it was a long speech with a lot of parts. I mean, it was over an hour, so there was a lot of parts to it. Of course, there's times you stop and they're cheering and whatever, but they recognized, I think, golly, at least a dozen people in the gallery, which were all great. It was great stuff.
Yeah.
Cantori, that was the name of the gentleman who died. His family was there. And he did say this. The president said this: "I believe I was spared at Butler by God because he has, something for him to do or to save America. I was saved by God to save America." He said, "I believe that." And a lot of Americans would concur. So,
well, there's a story here on Fox, and I'm going to give Fox credit for it. Make sure I do. But Doug Schoen, am I saying his name right?
I believe that's right.
Yeah. He's got a sentence in here, and I'm going to read it out. He's talking about Democrats. And it says, "They have become trivial and almost irrelevant."
Well, that's true.
They have definitely become devoid of any humanity. If you can't celebrate a 12-year-old kid,
Yeah.
you have no humanity. You can't.
By the way, Vice President Vance, when he called for the sergeant at arms to get him out of there, Vance was like, "Get him out, get him out." And some of the senators were like, "Get out of here." I mean, you know what? All of them realize he crossed the line, and you can't do that.
Yeah. And
they wanted him thrown out. I mean, they were cheering the fact that he was thrown out because you just don't do that. Can you imagine if a Republican had did that, waving this, screaming at the president? Can you imagine how they would be reacting today on the morning shows? They would be calling for that senator to be strung up. I mean, they would. But they will all cover for this guy. You wait and see. They'll cover for this guy. He's passionate. He was upset. He didn't like the things the president said. He just got upset. He was showing emotion. He's showing emotion. He cares. He cares about people on Social Security and Medicaid and all that. Hey, come on. It's just, again, it's out of bounds, and you can't justify it.
No,
Good gosh. Good grief. What a jack, man. I'm serious. He's always every time he's in there, he's always eating the spot. He has that stick with a gold handle on it, and he's usually raising it up. He sits down a lot. I don't think he can walk great. He usually just jams it, making racket with it and stuff. He likes to wave it around. Sitting down. But when you make an approach towards the president, shaking your stick. Come on, man, you can't do that.
No,
Can't do it.
no. He should
I
have
hope
stuck.
I hope they tell him you can bring a walker back, but your stick's out. You can't bring it no more. That would have to. You bring your walker with the tennis balls on the bottom. You can do that,
Yeah,
but the
yeah.
stick is out. The stick's out, bro.
You never have to put a tennis ball at the top and bottom of the stick. Now, this guy that wrote this article, apparently he's a Democrat, Doug Schoen. Apparently he is actually a Democrat, and this is what he wrote. Well, understand, I well understand that in praising President Trump's speech, it appears that I, a Main Street Democrat of 50 years experience, have somehow changed parties. Nothing is farther from the truth. Nonetheless, anyone who cares about America has to support the president's, he called it overarching goals on the economy, inflation, the southern border, on crime, and embracing peace around the world. Anybody who cares about America. I mean, how is this not stuff that you could get behind? How can you stand against this? You are
It's just it's purely party politics, and it's hate. They have hate in their heart.
okay.
I mean, look at them. They look like they got hate.
Well, if that's party politics to stand against everything that is good for America, they are not the problem. The problem is the people that vote them in.
Well, and they have drank the Kool-Aid, as they say. I mean, they believe everything they say. I mean, and you talk to someone like that, like the drunken Democrat that approached me at Walmart, and they totally are oblivious to all of that. They believe every talking point of what they're being told, everyone, and they just can't see it.
They believe state TV, MSNBC, CNN,
Sure,
ABC, CBS.
sure.
All out there. They believe in state TV.
And I'll tell you how they can act like this, because the legacy media has been painting, and they said the Dem leaders have said it as well. They're painting Trump up as a Hitler type. And when you do that, then that's how they justify it. They're saying, well, he's Hitler. And you would not sit there and take that you wouldn't do that. So that's how they're trying to justify this, by labeling him as a like person of that how horrible Hitler was, which is sad in itself that you're calling the American president a Hitler or a white nationalist or whatever you want to say. And then so they say we are correct to stand against him like that because he's like that. We're saving America. It's crazy, but that's what they repeat it so often so that people will think and support that. That's sad, but that's where we're at.
You're absolutely right. And don't get me started.
I was fired up last night.
They are completely, this legacy media thing, that needs to stop. We as Americans need to stand up and say, we're going to call out all of them. We're tired of your opinions. We don't give a rat's butt about your opinion. We don't. We want to make our own opinions. Just give us news. Just the news. We don't care what you think. Whoopi, you may have been a decent actress and all that stuff, but I don't care what you think. And apparently, with the way the ratings for The View is going, nobody else does either.
Well, the ratings for all of legacy media is down, except, there's some conservative sites that are going up, and MSNBC, CNN, those sites, their ratings are way down. I mean, they've had to make massive cuts to their personnel.
Yeah, but they don't care about that. They're still going to keep hammering, and any spin they can put on anything that might be the least bit negative, they will blow it up and expand on it and make it much huger than what it is, and just make it like, oh my gosh, President Trump blew his nose in public today. Oh my gosh, he was thumbing his nose at so and so. Oh, how could he do that? That was horrible. No. Elizabeth Warren broke wind in the House of Congress, or in the Senate chambers. It's like, oh well, she just couldn't help it. The Indians' diet is such a way that causes a lot of flatulence. I don't know. I could just, make excuses for all the Democrats and just any little thing that a Republican does, especially the president. Oh no, we can't have that. Oh no, that's just horrible. Hmm. No.
Let's take a quick break, Rob, and get us another coffee, and we'll get the second half of the show going this morning. I got to refill my cup. Shout out, though, first of all, to the state of Idaho and their city called Slick Poo. Slick Poo, P-O-O, Slick Poo, Idaho. Shout out to you folks. I don't know how you got that name. Interesting. Slick Poo. Where y'all from? I'm from Slick
I can
Poo.
make some educated guesses. Were y'all named after Biden's underpants?
Oh, wow.
No, y'all weren't. I know y'all weren't. I'm sorry. I just
Yeah, not in Idaho. We'll be back in a second.
This is David the AM with the Southern Fried Podcast. We are now an affiliate of Podbean. Podbean is an audio platform which helps you get your voice out there. You can go online and go live from your very phone that you use. You don't have to have a lot of special equipment. It's nice to have a studio, but it's expensive. You can do those things from your phone. Hey, I was a listener of Podbean before I even became a podcaster. Maybe you've thought about being one. There was a time when I didn't think about being a podcaster, but think about it. You've got things to share. It could be as simple as baking, or it could be working on a car. The stories are endless that you could come up with to be a podcaster. And there are people out there that want to listen and to your stories and to your shows. And we're thankful for all those that watch and listen to us. Podbean is now an affiliate of the Southern Fried Podcast. Unless you're a business plan, that would be the bottom one. The one on top, use that. You'll get discounts. And also the Southern Fried Podcast benefits in this as well. I love Podbean. They also help launch out to many other audio sites. This saves me time. Time is precious. Time to be on the podcast. Time for research. Time to be with family. And yes, time to work. Yes, we still work out there in the workforce. So become a podcaster. Use Podbean. And when you use these links, one of them, you will save money and you'll also help the Southern Fried Podcast. Thanks so much for all your support. Take care. We'll see you soon. Hey folks, Dave in the AM here with the Southern Fried Podcast and the Cornbread Nation. For many weeks now, me and Rob have been telling you about our affiliation with Dubby Energy Drinks. I've been drinking some of them on the show, and I just got in today the powdered version, and this is the Palm Blom version of this. And hey, I tell you that it gives you the focus and the energy without the jitters or the crash. There's no sugars, no fillers, no artificial dyes. So get you some Dubby today. Use the promo code Southern Fried, and you'll get 10% off each and every order. Not only can you get the energy drinks, but you can also get some cool merch items. In fact, soon we're going to have a hat to show you as an example of some of those things. There's shirts and other things you can get as well as containers to mix up the powder and the water into that you can carry with you. We appreciate your support of the Southern Fried Podcast and also of Dubby Energy Drinks. We'll see you again soon. Take care.
All right, I'm gonna be honest. To me, it looks like old Colquitt Chuck there. If you merged me and you together, that's probably what we'd wind up with.
Okay, fair enough. So he's representing well.
Yeah, short, fat, furry. He just needs a bald place on top.
Good morning, MAGA. Yeah. Well, folks, again, we are reminiscing, platforming, soapboxing this morning off of the Democrat embarrassment last night, but also at the same time celebrating a great speech, a one for the ages, I believe. The successes are great and many, and he says the president that is, being he, says we're just getting started. And the Democrats are reeling, and so that's why they pull the little games they play, the games Democrats play, to try to slow down the president and the Republican Party. I'm sorry, MAGA movement is the train is flying down the tracks, and they can't stop it. They can't. They're trying to get to the conductor. They can't do it. So the train is, jump on or get left behind, and they have left behind. Just the full on radicalization of the Democratic Party is on full display last night. And this is not anything new, but it is being highlighted. But again, shame, shame, shame on you. I'll say it 3 times. You cannot do a little boy like that. You are less than human if you cannot celebrate a little boy. That was the cutest stinking story, one of the cutest I've ever seen that they've ever done. And I love that little guy. He was so cool. Oh man, who could not celebrate that little feller, man? 12 years old, DJ. God bless you, young man. You're an inspiration for all Americans. And your hug of the gentleman who brought you your badge, that picture, I'm going to get that framed. I love that picture, man. It touched my heart. And Rob, I gave him a Southern Fried podcast salute this morning because he's a survivor. He's an overcomer. He shows the American spirit. And his daddy with a cowboy hat, the Texas shirt on. God bless you, sir. I love it.
It was awesome.
And Al Green, we've already said it. Take your stick
and stick it in your ear. Huh? If that ain't good enough, you can stick it in your rear. We don't care. There. See, I got to word it out again another way that was surprisingly nice.
You did. Very nice. Hey, well done.
I'm a poet.
I was really, it would have been sad. It would have been sad for America. But I really believe with all my heart that Speaker Johnson was very close to emptying all the Democrats out of the building. I think it was that close. He had that look like, if I have to gavel this one more time, I'm going to call. He had that look. You can tell when a man's getting ready to do it. He already had to take he knew that was not going to be popular to have to take a Democrat senator, especially an African-American, and have him removed. Once you've done that, you just round them all up. Let's go.
Yeah.
Get them out.
Oh, that would have been hilarious. Dude, if he'd have said, I'll tell you what, Master at Arms, just get that side of the room out.
He was close.
Don't make
because I mean, come on, this is a speech before America and the world. Mm-hmm. And you are disrupting that. Yeah. And the president, because they were hollering, Rob, while he's speaking, the whole party of them. And the president had to stop a couple of times. It got loud. And Johnson was that close. And I think they realized it. I think some people in the back of the room said, hey, to the leaders, you better do something here because we're not going to put up with it anymore.
Yeah.
There was a lady senator holding up a sign as the president was walking in. Of course, they all got their back to him and they're sitting down. They wouldn't even greet the man. I mean, come on. But another senator ripped the sign out of her hand. He's like, you're not doing that.
Yeah.
They looked like they were at an auction with their little signs. Yeah.
I know, right? And what would have been funny? What was the little signs that Elon's a thief or false or whatever? If all the Republicans had signs that they held up and just said "shut up."
Well, I will tell you, they got to hear USA a lot last night. Oh wow, did it ring out?
Yeah,
USA.
Yeah, I like it. And it seems like it just made them damn sick to hear people chanting USA.
Oh, they hate America.
Absolutely.
Well, the gravy train is dried up for a bunch of them, so you got to understand they're upset.
Yeah, we're going. I do have great coffee this morning. Let me recommend a coffee for you guys if y'all have never tried it. The Georgia pecan coffee. Oh my gosh.
Mine's not, but not to Brian. Very soon you're going to be able to get Southern Fried podcast coffee.
Yes.
Then we'll really be hopped up. Mine's Folgers this morning. I don't mind saying Folgers.
Mine's caramel pecan.
No,
I
not
did
for
not
him.
say that either.
I'm fired up because I watched a group of supposedly adults and leaders disrespect a 12-year-old boy.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of things they did. But that moment right there, it says all I need to know, and I've had enough. I usually just don't go on too much about it. I'll say that's politics, whatever. But when they did that, when they disrespected a 12-year-old boy and what he's overcame, and that moment where he was being honored, you're sick. You're sick. I have no use for you. You showed me your heart. Check mark. I label you now. I know what you are. You don't do children that way. You just don't do it.
I do Dunkin' Donuts for my Keurig.
I've done that.
There we go. There he is.
The man with a
There's
stick.
the knucklehead. And if you notice his tie there, he's got a tie that's supposed to be like, "We the people" down here at the bottom. So it's supposed to be like the Constitution or whatever. How does he get off on that? What? Oh, it's in the Constitution. We're supposed to waste taxpayer dollars. We're supposed to berate a 12-year-old kid or totally ignore a 12-year-old kid, a special moment for him.
Can you find a picture of the boy and where his dad's holding him up? Oh, it's a great moment, man. It's such a great moment. Wow. Or when he's hugging the Secret Service dude or whatever. Man, God bless that young man. And I'm glad. I'll play it, man. I'm telling you, man, that was a sweet moment.
By the way,
I don't think we're gonna get in trouble. If we do, we do.
I'm gonna give him credit. We're just.
It's a great moment. What an awesome dude. Little man, you inspire me.
13-year-old kid.
Yeah, it's just uncalled for. You put politics to the side and celebrate grieving parents and children. Oh yeah, yes.
He's a cancer survivor too.
Yes, cancer survivor. There's his dad.
Yeah.
He's look at his face. The moment is so special for him.
Look here.
And when they start chanting his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a special moment.
But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
You know, he's got to be a little bit intimidated. He's standing up. What an awesome. Let's see if we can fast forward.
Right there. That moment right there when he gets his little badge.
Got his badge. He just reached out and hugged the guy. What a moment, man.
That's America. It did me, man.
That's America. Amen to that. Dude, that is awesome.
Wow. That moment right there is what makes America great.
Yes.
So. And again, I'm not saying every Democrat didn't celebrate it, but that was their attitude all night long. Sit on their hands, not celebrate these people or honor those who lost had children that lost their life. Just put aside that stuff.
They want to support wasteful government spending. They want to support illegal immigration. They want to support fentanyl and human trafficking coming across our borders. Because all this shows a need for them. It shows a need for them.
Well, honestly, Rob, think about it.
Relevant. Huh?
You know the only way they could have celebrated that little man? You know the only way they could have celebrated him from their perspective? If he'd been wearing a dress.
Yeah.
Think about it. He'd been mutilated in surgery and wearing a dress. That's the only way now. I mean, it's how radical they've become. That's the only way they would celebrate that.
But the constituents keep voting them in.
I know.
America, wake up. Wake up. It's time for a change. We
Yeah.
can't keep the division in the country's crazy. And I understand that. And I understand a lot of people have drank the Kool-Aid. But we need to wake up. I mean, yes, we're all
Yeah.
about Christian values on this show. And we're Christians. We're Southern. We're conservative. But my goodness, even if you set that all to the side, there's a such thing as human decency.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, it's sorely lacking on us. Why are you complain we're not doing enough in this country to help the poor? You're not doing enough in this country to help so and so. You're not doing enough in this country to help so and so. But your support sending billions of dollars overseas doing stupid stuff, studying transgender rats, and that was a thing. I mean, all this money on this stuff that is absolutely infantile and useless. That could have been used for these things that you're screaming about that we need to do. And some of it we need to do. Great. Here you go. And y'all are complaining and griping about that because we got Doge. Oh, well, Elon Musk wasn't elected. Well, most federal judges aren't elected. They're appointed. But y'all don't complain about that. Elon Musk has been appointed to help curtail government excess spending and find fraud, waste, and abuse. And he's finding it hand over fist. Shut up. Wake up. Realize the man's doing his job. Oh my gosh. And the Americans are behind him. We love it. Okay. We don't agree with necessarily how everything's handled. But my goodness, we've been hollering we was going to do this for 100 years. We've never done it. Now we're doing it. Thank you.
I thought they were going to choke when he said that we were going to balance the federal budget. I thought they were going to choke. I mean, like what? Oh, balance the budget.
No,
Can't do that.
Well, we want to do that, and that's just breaking even. That's not even fixing the problem. That's just breaking even.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it would be so fun. It would be so much fun if we could get the deficit down. Just $10. Just $10.
Yeah. Go watch the debt clock. Just go over there and watch that ticker. Oh my gosh, it'll make you sick to watch that.
Yeah,
and that's. You don't. If you're old and about to check out, think about your great grandchildren or something, and what's fixing to happen to them. That debt will collapse the economy at a certain point. We're headed towards pure hell if we don't get a handle on this. Pure hell. And to be fair, both sides of the aisle have added to that debt over the years. And so no matter what's happened in the past, we got to live in the now. We're not like Kamala. We can't go into time and her version of that. But we've got to live in the now and plan for the future. We got to fix the problems today. And to Canada, we love you in Canada, but to your leader Trudeau, if you think that you're scaring us by your rhetoric, standing up and saying we won't back down and we're going to fight you, America, and all that, well, the heck with you. You know what? You can't win this. I don't think you're not thinking this through. And to the Ottawa mayor or whoever that was that said we'll shut the power off to those citizens that live in America on that side where they get their power, you try that and you see how that works out for you. You shut their power off, and if you think that's going to make you a hero, you are an idiot. Just go ahead and try that. Don't threaten it. Just do it. Yeah. If you're going to say it, you might as well do it. I think you're just making a point. You're not going to do it.
We'll run some more power lines over to them. It'll be all
right.
Oh,
yeah. We'll take care of that. We don't need your power.
Now, who needs who? Where y'all going to go to thaw out? You're not even going to be able to go across to the United States. I mean, because y'all just going to be up there year-round, freezing your little butts off because you can't go south. Come on.
Yeah, let's be friends. And then another point he made was he said, we're getting back to Panama Canal. We're taking it back. He said that last night. And he said, Greenland, it's up to you. It's not a huge population. We're working on bringing you in. Let us know. We'll make you that 51st state. Let's do it.
Chuggers did not like me going. You had to get up here and get comforted. Today, don't mean it. All right, now it says, I don't mean to sound racist, but we spent a lot of money on a certain race because of what happened many years ago, and they still whine and cry and whine. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of guilt that is thrown around, and we've got to move past that as well. At some point, you got to live in the now. You cannot fix everything from the past.
Yeah.
It's horrible. It's a stain on our nation. But let's move on. Let's move on. Let's recognize. I think we've recognized as a citizenry how horrible that time was and what happened. And yes, in some cases that's still there, but it's very small. And we got to move on. And unfortunately, a lot of your leftist Democrats, I mean, they cave at every time. I mean, but at the same time, they don't treat their constituents very well. I mean, look at the condition of the cities that they live in.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I'm your representative, but your city is filled with crime and it's filthy. The social systems don't work. I mean, it's horrible. There's buildings boarded up, but yeah, let's celebrate what we're doing. Come on.
Yeah.
That's true. You can't live in the past. Got to move on. I mean, it's horrible what we did to the American Indian. Okay, yes, it's horrible. All across the world, there has been injustices done like that. But at some point, you gotta move forward. You have to. I mean, come on.
Well, the Democrats approach this like they do every other thing. Throw money at it. All right. Oh, let's do reparations. Let's throw money at it. Let's do this. Let's do that. We'll just chunk money at it. Let's we've got this problem over here with COVID, chunk money at it. We've got this problem over at Ukraine, chunk money at it. Just keep throwing money at every problem that you have. Money is not the answer. We're having to borrow money to give it away. Now, how dumb is that? We're borrowing money to give it away. You idiot.
Well, even if you were going to pay some reparations, even if you were going to, it's impossible to pay the amount that they say they want. Certain people. They're talking trillions upon trillions upon trillions of dollars. There's no money for that. You'd collapse the country. You can't. It's not going to happen. You're wasting your time. It's not going to happen. If you want to have a reasonable discussion, we could probably come up with some way but you would have to sign off that that's it forever. And there are some places that are doing things like that. But it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. There's no money for that. We're broke. We're in debt up to our earlobes.
And I have. All right, I would like this morning, everybody on the Southern Fried Podcast, all across the country, please raise your hand if you've ever owned or been a slave. Dave, I don't see any hands up.
It's 150 years ago. Now, there were injustices done up through the 60s and early 70s, yes. Horrible actions.
Support those injustices. We're hopefully, I thought we had moved past all that. I really did.
Most of these people are gone. They've died. A lot of them, not all of them, but most of them have died. And so let's build a better future. Let's build a better America. Like I said, there's been injustices done all across the world, and you just can't go back and fix all those things. So,
Celtic Blacksmith, you are absolutely right about that. You are absolutely right.
Yeah, they are
prisoner of World War II. Yeah,
they were locked up just because of who they were, and that is more modern. There's still some of those folks alive. Even though there's a lot of them have died. But yeah, it's just not going to happen. But again, the living in the past is pretty sad.
Dr. Martin Luther King is one of he's always been one of my heroes. He was great. To judge a man by the content of his heart, not the color of his skin, by his character, and not by the color of his skin. Hey, I'm all over that. I agree with that. I'm behind that 110%. You know, I think Martin Luther King was quite possibly one of the greatest Americans to ever walk in this country. And he didn't go out there and shaking sticks at people. He didn't go out there and sit on his hands. He didn't go out there and ignore achievements of others just because they might believe a little different than he did. He did not do that. He celebrated all Americans, and he considered himself an American, and he wanted to be treated like the other Americans, like the white Americans. They did him wrong. They were doing and I admit they did the African American people wrong. They did. But I thought we fixed that. I thought we were moving beyond that. I thought we were making strides going beyond. So we're all equal. And that's great. We all start the race at the same point. We may not end up at the same point on the other end. We got to get from here to there. But there has to be a winner. There has to be a loser. And I don't care. If you're the best, I want you to win. I don't care what color your skin is. I never have.
I know
you haven't either.
When I go to surgery, I want the best surgeon I can get. I don't care who they are. I want them to win.
Yes. Yes.
I want it to be a good day.
Yes. Steady hands. And I want them to have God on their side, and I want them to do good.
Dang Skippy.
That little boy that beat cancer, that shows you right there. You know, they celebrated that little boy last night. That was there. You know, that was part of the speech. They were going to celebrate this young man who's done fought brain cancer. This is his moment. This is his shining moment. And, you know, you never know. Is he going to get another one? We don't know. And these knuckleheads and jackwagons sit on their hands. They won't even applaud this young man's a fighter, dude.
Well, think about this, Rob. The dude that got thrown out, Al Green from Texas. This young man, they're from Texas.
Yeah.
He should have been in there celebrating this young man.
Yeah.
He knew that was on the agenda. He knew they get a list. They know what they're going to do. And you get yourself thrown out when you could have been celebrating that. You can hate the president, but how do you not sit there and support that? You get thrown out. You lost your chance. You're an idiot.
He should have been over there helping that dad hold that young man up and letting that young man hold his stick or whatever.
Yeah.
He should have been over there.
Taking pictures once it's over. Yeah.
Now, what kind of moment would that have been?
Oh, amazing. Amazing.
Our talking on Al Green will be completely and totally different this morning.
Yeah.
Like, oh, dude, that was the most awesome thing ever. But it didn't happen. Instead, he chose that time to try to berate and educate, I guess, the president of the United States. You know, it didn't. Hey, Zelensky tried that. He got thrown out too. So you're like a tall Zelensky now to me.
And Zelensky didn't have a stick. He had a step stool. So, you know, they thought.
Oh my gosh, you guys wear your butts for your heads, you bunch of ass hats. Quit it.
It makes me mad, man. I get fired up on it, man. That little dude, but you know what? I'm gonna celebrate him, man. That's cool. That's gonna be a background on the podcast here soon. I want to put that up. I want to celebrate that dude, man. That just tickled me, man. I had tears in my eyes, man, watching that guy. Oh man, and his dad. That just makes you feel good as an American. And when he hugged that guy, man,
there was no question, no second thought, no hesitation. He just leaned over, and it wasn't like no thought that it wasn't going to happen. So he was going to make it happen. Come here.
You know what? He's had some good raising. His daddies did a good job.
Yes, he did. And the man that he hugged, Did you see the look on his face?
I did. It touched me really a lot last
man,
night
he
when
was
I
like,
watched
"This is
that.
great," and he couldn't. I mean, he just hugged him right. I mean, it was the look on that guy's face, man.
And you can't tell me that we haven't moved forward as America when you see that. When you see that genuine expression of love and embracing, you cannot tell me that America is a nation of hate. So all you Democrats that want to continue to press that button, you are sick. You are sick because America is better and America is doing great things.
There ain't no way you could tell me that guy, that man, would not at that moment or at any other moment thereafter lay his life down for that child.
You better believe it.
And I know of at least two people that you could see right now that would not lay their life, that would lay their life down for any 12-year-old child or younger,
Absolutely.
or even older. I mean,
Even older.
It don't matter. If somebody needs our help, we'd be happy to jump in and help. I've known that man over there long enough to know he would, and I know me well enough to know I would. You know,
Can you imagine?
we don't care.
Can you imagine going to somebody's birthday party? Can you imagine going to somebody's birthday party and you don't like their parent? Maybe you've had a problem with them.
Yeah.
But can you imagine the kid getting up and they're singing happy birthday to him and you're or her and you're up there booing and all that? That's what that reminded me of. You just you try to destroy the moment for this little guy. And he's not little, he's just shorter. But he's a big guy. He's got a big heart. He is more adult than half of Congress. He's more adult. I applaud him. I applaud him this morning.
Hey, and a great big salute to you, your daddy, the agent, everybody. Salute. And with that, we're over time. But hey, all you folks out there, Cornbread Nation, all the Southern Pride Podcast fans, y'all have a great hump day. We will continue onward and upward tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will see you then. Y'all get out there and do it. Salute. Get this work week halfway over. Y'all got this.
Well, it's early in the morning. Grab a cup and tune on in. Robert and Dave got that southern charm. Let the laughter begin. From the morning funny to MAGA minute, ain't no better way to start your day the southern way with a little joke and pray. We're just